Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and today in this vlog, I'm going to be reading books that I think will be 5 stars. So I am a little bit weird. I'm a little bit funky. I truly, inside me, avoid books that I think will be 5 stars. I don't know what it is. I'm like, no, I have to savor it. I can't read too many 5 stars at once. But I've seen a lot of people doing this vlog, very similar variations, like I can't stop the vlog until I've read a book that's 5 stars, something like that. This is kind of that, but I'm just reading books that I think will be 5 stars. The most recent video I saw of this was Gabby over at Gabby Reads, and I really wanted to do it. I was inspired by her, so I will leave a link down below to her video. So I have 3 books here that I really think will be 5 stars, and like in my heart of hearts, I think that I will honestly give all of these 5 stars. I'm not gonna go over each individual summary because I'll just do that before I start the book so you don't hear me repeat the summary several times. I've noticed that I do that in my videos and it's really annoying. But the TBR for the video, we have The Wicker King by Kate Ancrum. And ever since I saw like this type of different formatting for the book, I was like, I need to read that. I think it's gonna be 5 stars. I've heard it's really emotional, so I'm counting on it. Then we have Gideon and Ninth, which the reason I think this will be 5 stars is because apparently it's lesbian necromancers in space. The emo queen that I am cannot go on further without reading this book anymore. And then obviously we have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I have not given an R.F. Kuang book less than 5 stars. So I feel like, is it biased? Am I cheating? Yes, very much so. I'm very much cheating. But I really do think I will enjoy this book. The premise sounds amazing. So let's do it. So now it's time to decide which one to read first. And I think because Yellowface came out last month and everybody's been talking about it, I've been avoiding all spoilers, missing the discussions surrounding this book. I think I'm going to pick this one up first. It'll be my first read for this 5-star vlog. And I will come back with any updates and if I am successful at knowing my own taste. And then just when I said I was going to summarize these books before I started them, I lied to you and I ended the clip and everything when I didn't talk about what this is. So from what I understand, this book follows 2 main characters. One of them is named June and the other one is named Athena. They were coming up in college as 2 like rising writing stars, but what ends up happening is that Athena is a literary darling and June is not as successful. June witnesses Athena's death in a freak accident and she acts on an impulse. She steals Athena's just finished masterpiece. So what if June edits Athena's novels and sends it to her agent as her own work? So what if she lets her new publisher rebrand her as Juniper Song, complete with an ambiguously ethnic author photo? Doesn't this piece of history deserve to be told? Whoever is the teller? That's what June claims. And the New York Times bestseller list seems to agree. I'm so excited. This is apparently like a discussion on racism in the publishing industry in general. So I'm very excited to pick this up and I will be starting it today. Thanks, bye. Hello. So I just got to page 50 of the book and I had to stop myself because I needed to come here and talk about my initial feelings about the book. But needless to say, the fact that I didn't want to put it down and I didn't want to stop reading is praise in and of itself. First of all, I went into this book, I know what I'm expecting. I realized that being very involved in the bookish community and bookish online spaces, as is RF Kuang, I think a lot of the feelings surrounding the publishing industry and racism in the publishing industry and authors coming into other authors' spaces and expecting the same level of appreciation. And I think this novel is very true to what we've seen in many online spaces of authors and of bookish creators. And I think RF Kuang is doing an excellent job at creating the most like unhinged but realistic author character in Juniper, and how she has no problem taking what is Athena's work. So we're at the point right now where Juniper is very well into publishing this book. This book is very short, and much like with RF Kuang's other books, I've always praised this for her writing. It's very easily accessible, and it's very easy to get into, and it's very easy to fly through. So at this point in the book, Juniper has already decided to steal Athena's manuscript and rewrite it. And there's a lot of like quips and snarky commentary from RF Kuang, but it's placed into this very like angry and unhinged voice of Juniper, where she's defending her decisions and saying like, of course Athena this, and of course Athena that, blah, 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 blah. And there's a lot of like remarks, and I'm sitting here and I'm just giggling to myself because I know that RF Kuang is being snarky, and I know that this is coming from her perspective and her view of the publishing world and probably experiences that she has dealt with. And I think it's very, very interesting so far. It's reading not really thrillery, but there's definitely this thriller aspect to the book that my heart is like beating because I want Juniper to get caught, and I'm so enamored with how this could happen and how it's going to happen. And I'm very interested to see how this is going to end, because honestly, it's these past 50 pages have been an amazing experience so far. I don't see myself giving this less than 5 stars, at least at this point. I can confidently say 50 pages in, it's reading like a 5-star book for me. But obviously, as I mentioned before, huge bias for this because I love RF Kuang, and I don't know if I could be critical of her, and don't cover me because I don't think she deserves criticism. Actually, I think this is going to be a really, really good book and a fun but like impactful experience. So I'm going to continue this. Maybe I'll update around, I know that there's something crazy that happens 70% in when you find out like what Athena did to deserve this attitude from Juniper. So I'm very excited to see like how that plays out, and I'll probably update then, or unless something crazy happens. But so far so good. This is great. Hey, so I'm a little bit past the, ignore that, a little bit past the 100-page mark of Yellowface, and this is amazing. It's incredible. It's so fast-paced, but it's more than just the plot of the novel. Like the underlying discussions that are had in here, like it's focusing on identity, it's focusing on white liberal feminism, it's focusing on more than just the publishing industry. Like the being in Juniper's head is insane to me. She's taking on an entirely new identity, but inside she isn't there. I don't even know how to express how much I'm loving this book. Like I'm tabbing, you can't see it because I'm matching with the cover. And I'm really, enjoy is the wrong word to use, but I am enjoying being in Jude's head because it's so fascinating to be in such an unhinged person's mind. Like June is the stereotypical white feminist, liberal feminist who thinks that they're not doing anything wrong. There's a lot of like offhanded comments where we should be raising women's voices, when in reality, you've completely retaken a story that was not your own. Not understanding that you can't write these stories despite maybe researching Chinese history since you read Athena's copy. Like there's so much discussions about that. And I think she is an interesting character, a character I absolutely despise. I don't feel like I'm intelligent enough to discuss how everything in this book is so meta and like a performance in and of itself. I have no words. I'm going to continue this because I know it's going to get even more wild from here. I'll try to update maybe when I'm closer to the end and then my final reading, but holy shit. Hello, so I only have a couple of minutes to update you guys because I'm going to like a brunchy lunch place with my friend. But yesterday I finished Yellow Face and I have to say that this was art. This was a 5 stars for sure. As I predicted, as I knew, Miss Rebecca would never let me down. I don't want to get too much into the plot of the book because I find this book to have read extremely quickly. I finished this within like 2 sittings. The pace is extremely fast. The writing is extremely quick but gripping, like with most of R.F. Kuang's work. And if you've read her work and you know how quickly you can go through them. On top of it, I also find Jude to be such an interesting character that you hate her so much and you want her to fail that you're completely flipping through the pages because she's just so disgusting that you can't look away, but also you want to see her and watch her fail. Apart from that, I found this book to be extremely meta and satirical. I think R.F. Kuang has a lot to say about the publishing industry and it's very clear within this book, and I found it to be really fascinating and interesting to talk about these dichotomies and dynamics within the publishing industry. I just thought that this was a brilliant work. I think it's very meta, very cool. This is art. R.F. Kuang dipped her toes into contemporary, literary, thrillery type of vibes, and I'm here for it because R.F. Kuang has shown really within these last few years the breadth of her skill and the breadth of her capability, and I think it's really amazing that she's diving into these different genres and killing it every time. We stan a queen. So now I will be going out with my friend for lunch. She's on her way to pick me up. Other than that, I will probably continue with an arc I have to read for my arc vlog. And then I will start one of the 5-star books, the other 5-star books that are in this vlog. Catch you later. So I wanted to come to you and give an update because today I started The Wicker King by Kate Ancrum. This is one of my 5-star predictions and I'm really excited to read this book because I've honestly never heard a single negative thing about it. So what I mostly know about this story is that it is discussing mental health. So this book is quite visual, and from what I understand, as the pages get darker, the mental health of one of the main characters is also getting darker. And I always was very intrigued by that concept. I've heard excellent things of Kate Ancrum. So very excited to pick this up. It is my first Kate Ancrum, and so far I am 62 pages in and really enjoying the writing style and the characters. It is a very soft story so far, but I know that we're gonna get more deep into magical stuff, fantasy stuff, and obviously mental health discussions. So I'm very excited is the wrong word, but I'm very interested in continuing. So as for what this is about, it follows 2 boys, one named August, who is a bit of a pyromaniac. He's a bit of a bad boy. He deals drugs at his school, and his best friend Jack, who is a popular jockey type of character, and they're not like supposed to be friends, but they've bonded since such a young age. And then Jack begins to see increasingly vivid hallucinations. August decides to help Jack the only way he knows how, by believing in him and believing in the fantasy kingdom that creeps into the edges of the real world. Jack leads August on a quest to fulfill a dark prophecy, and together they alienate everyone around them as they struggle with their sanity, free falling into a surreal fantasy world that feels made for them. In the end, each one must choose their own truth. It sounds incredible. It's very fast paced. I have only been reading for like an hour and I'm already 60 pages in, so I'm really enjoying this. I do see it finishing quite quickly, and I'm really hoping I give it a 5 stars, but I will update you when I read some more. Hello, so it's been a couple days, so I just wanted to give my feelings on The Wicker King by Kate Ancrum. I am now on page 200, so I only have about 100 pages left, and I am well into the black pages of where we're starting to see Jack's mental health slowly deteriorate. Unfortunately, I really don't think I'm gonna end up giving this book 5 stars. The ending will have to be like astronomically amazing for me to feel like the entire book has been worth it. I'm really disappointed about this fact because a lot of people have given this book 5 stars, and I always wanted to read this. I always thought I would also give it a 5 stars. However, I am enjoying the book. It's not that I'm not enjoying it, but I'm just not as pulled in or as captivated by this book as I originally thought I was going to be. So now that I'm done work for the day, I'm just gonna crack down, read the last 100 pages, and then come to you with my final thoughts. So see you then. Hello. So I know you could hear my fan up above, so please excuse me. It's just a little hot in this room and I had to cool it off because the air conditioner doesn't really reach here and the windows are wide open because it's my office. But I did want to come here and talk about my feelings about the Wigger King, and they didn't really change in the last 100 pages, and I wanted to enjoy this one way more than I did. So I think that adds just another layer of like disappointment that I have. I think the main issue for me is that although I can really say that I loved Kate Ancrum's writing and the mystical atmosphere that comes about from that, I never really connected to our 2 main characters. I think I actually enjoyed the second half of the novel far more because I think a bit more happened to our characters. I think what it boils down to is that the dynamic between August and Jack drastically increases in the latter half of the novel, and the comprehension that as a reader you kind of have when you understand that or see that this intense devotion that August has for Jack will never really go away, and that affects them both in the end. Usually I really like mixed media in the novel, and I think I really appreciated that Kate Ancrum used the color of the pages to really emphasize the decrease in both August and Jack's mental health as they move towards the end of the novel. But I didn't find the other mixed media in the book, like the pictures and stuff like that, to really add anything different or make me feel a bit more for the characters in any way. My actual favorite part of the book was really Kate Ancrum's author's note at the end of the book, which I found paired with the end of the novel to feel really impactful and bump up this book for me. And in fact, it really made me enjoy this book a lot more and want to read more from Kate Ancrum in the future. So I ended up giving this a 3.5 stars. The ending was definitely more of a solid ending, but it just didn't pull me in a way that I expected it to. So today I'm working, but I have some menial tasks to do. So I'm going to listen to an audiobook. I don't think I'm going to listen to the last book of this vlog, which is Gideon of the Ninth, just because it's a thicker boy, and I feel like I really need to devote my attention to this because this book is one that I really think I'm going to enjoy, and I don't want to not enjoy it because I'm not paying attention. So I think I'm going to pick up the audiobook for an arc I have that I am working on another vlog for to read arcs with me. If it goes up before this one, I will link it up above. Because that one is a bit more easier in a sense to get into, I think I'm just going to listen to that and probably focus on this one later after supper. So update you later. Hello, so I wanted to give a quick update about where I am in Gideon of the Ninth. If you can hear the fountains in the background, I'm really sorry, but honestly, it's a gorgeous area and I'm waiting for my friend. So I decided to stop here, update you guys, because I was trying to find somewhere cute to film. I know this background isn't the cutest, but the area I'm staring at is really cute. So I am now, I think, roughly 100 pages into Gideon the Ninth, give or take. And the story starts off where Gideon we learn about her character. She is someone who was kind of captured, in a sense, by the royal family of the Ninth Planet, the Locked Tomb. And they seem to be like a religious cult, and they're led by Harrow the Ninth. I know that Harrow has a title in this series, so I figure she's going to be important. Right now they have a sort of antagonistic type of relationship. Harrow is very much like the princess in charge, the one that nobody wants to really mess with. She's sort of the cult leader. And then Gideon is the captured, indentured servant. But the story starts with her trying to escape, and Harrow manipulates her, convinces her to go on this task to go back to the first planet in order to become a commissary or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what that entails from Harrow herself, but it seems like when they land on the planet, they don't really know what they have to do to be commissaries as well, but they do need to have one of their cavaliers. It's essentially a bodyguard, and because the bodyguard that Harrow was kind of tasked with being together with her whole life runs away, Harrow ends up picking Gideon to come with her. So right now we're establishing a setting, we're establishing the combatants of Gideon that we're going to see on the planet, and I definitely see Gideon and Harrow sort of working together because obviously the task that they've been kind of picked to do is probably not all what it seems. So I'm going to go meet my friend at the cafe. I'm hoping to film a read with me video because I am going on vacation and I'm trying to come up with like easy video ideas to film. So I'm gonna go do that. Whether she's there or not doesn't make a difference to me, but I will also continue reading Gideon while we're at the cafe. Maybe it'll appear in the video, and I will see you later. Hello, so I just got back to the gym, but I did want to talk about my experience reading Gideon the Ninth so far. Gideon the Ninth so far. Why was that so hard to say? That's embarrassing. I got to page 202, and I have to say I'm really loving this book. Do I understand the plot? Do I understand any of the scientific goings on in the novel about necromancy? No. Does Gideon make me laugh so much? Absolutely. Does Gideon's relationship with Harrow make me laugh? Absolutely. So I was reading this yesterday. There are moments that I literally feel my face change because I'm smiling. You know how embarrassing that is in public? When I'm reading a book with a skull on the front? Tamsin Muir, she is making me publicly laugh, which is a talent, I might add, because I take myself way too seriously. Just to add, I think that is part of her craft. I think it's really amazing that she's able to tell such a very complex, or what feels like a complex story to me, and make me laugh at the same time. And I think Gideon is such a fantastic and interesting character. So I'm really liking this. I will definitely be reading a lot of it today. I really do want to finish this either today or tomorrow because I would like to have this vlog edited for next week. I don't think I'm going to film a July TBR. I'm going on vacation for the last 2 weeks of July, and I never read when I'm on vacation because often I'm extremely violently hungover, but also drinking an Aperol Spritz at the beach while I'm there. So I think I'm just going to continue this in. I want to film that vlog. I have 2 other videos planned, and I want to film my mid-year book freakout tag. So I need to finish this so I have that vlog edited so that I could post it, and then focus on editing those other videos so that I could post stuff while I'm on vacation as well. And I think I'm just going to continue reading my June TBR in July because I just didn't have a chance to read everything. And that's okay. You live and you learn. Try to get another 100 pages in so I can update you 100 pages from the end. And then we will see where we go from there. Okay, bye. Hello. So it's been several days since I last updated this vlog, but I went through a very intense reading slump. I could not bring myself to read at the end of June. This vlog was supposed to go up in June. It's July when I'm recording this. It's July when you're watching this. But let's just finally finish this vlog because despite this reading slump, despite not being able to bring myself to read, I ended up really enjoying Gideon the Ninth. So I gave this a 4.5 stars, not quite a 5 stars, but I may bump this up to 5 stars if I do reread it in the future. And that's just because I was slightly confused by some of the aspects of this book and the plot specifically, as you could tell by the way I was describing the plot, but it's so hard to describe and understand. And while I was reading, I found myself looking up summaries that I could reread so that I was really making sure that I was understanding the plot. And that's not an experience I feel like a 5-star book would give me. I feel like it would explain it a bit better. But I think if I were to reread this and know what I know, I would end up giving this a 5 stars. Everything else in the book though was so good. Gideon was a phenomenal main character, and I love me a comedian. Her quips and commentary literally made me laugh out loud sometimes. And I also really enjoyed Gideon's relationship with Harrow, the princess that she's protecting. It really develops throughout the novel, and it ends on sort of a melancholy note, but it made total sense for their character dynamic, for their characters, and where they are at the end of the book. The other side characters were also equally fun, equally complex. All of them managed to pull me in and make me appreciate them. I just think Muir is an absolute genius. Also, that this was a debut and it's this amazing. Her mind. I can't wait to see what the next books are. The writing was so enthralling and so clever, but I really appreciated the amount of like cultural references and memes that Muir inputted and sprinkled here and there throughout the book. And they're so slight that if you don't realize that they're like a meme or like a cultural reference, you're gonna miss them. But when you catch them, it makes the book that much funnier. In the end, I'm so impressed. I love this so much. I can't wait to move into Harrow in the 9th. I'm probably going to read it when I return from my vacation. Absolutely love this. 4.5 stars. So now that it's the end of the vlog, let's just go over the books that I read for the vlog. So the first book and the only 5 stars is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Perfection. I don't think I will ever give R.F. Kuang a less than 5-star book. I've read her fantasy. I've read her dark academia. I've read her like thrilling literary fiction satire book, gave it 5 stars. This woman can do no wrong. Next, on a more disappointing note for me, it's definitely The Wicker King by Kate Ankrum. I gave this 3 or 3.5 stars. 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed the story, but I think I went into this with too high of expectations. And then obviously Gideon the 9th, almost a 5-star, 4.5. But I did really enjoy my experience reading these 3 books. I had a lot of fun. These were books that I've been wanting to read for a while. And I'm happy to say that I at least enjoyed all of them. They might not have all been 5 stars, but they were still great reads. And that's it. That's the end of the vlog. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you've given any of these books 5 stars, please let me know. If you read them, let me know what you thought about them down below. If you would like to follow me on any of my other social medias, I do leave a link down below to my Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram if you would like to follow me there. And of course, because it is the end of the video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. It does wonders for my channel. It makes me feel really good. And that's it. I never know how to end these things. So I will see you next time. Okay, bye.